Okay, we're live. I am coming in live from my middle son's studio in his home because I'm here to see my little grandbabies, little identical boy twins. They will not be on social media, so it's quite fun to be here. This is his studio. He's got one of his guitars. It's a pretty cool space. Great lighting, of course. Yawning. Yawning is my theme today. So, um, invariably, I'll start working with a client, and about 20 minutes in, they'll take a yawn, or I'll see them like trying to suppress a yawn. Have you ever done that? Like you don't want to show that you're yawning, and so you're kind of suppressing it, and I'll say, "Oh, are you about to yawn? Like, go ahead, make a big yawn." I've done some studying about yawning, and yawning is one way that we settle our nervous system, or that it reveals that our nervous system is settling. That's why at night, after like a stressful day, you might be just lounging on your sofa, and then you'll just be like, you'll just take a big yawn. It's like your nervous system is finally settled from your hectic day, your busy day. And I was coaching a client yesterday. They didn't yawn at all. And this is their fourth session with me. So we're about 5, 6 weeks in because they took a trip. So they've been working on pressure free for about 6 weeks, I'd say 5 weeks. And we were almost to the end of the session to go, I don't think I've seen you yawn once. And it was such a realization that no, they weren't yawning. So you might view yawning as a negative thing. In fact, another one of my clients is a speaker, and I would get kind of like, oh my gosh, someone's yawning. They're bored. Not necessarily. They might not be bored, but something about your demeanor and your way of being has allowed them to settle. So if you're in a meeting and you're leading a meeting and you see that happen, you see a yawn take place, um, it's not necessarily that they're bored or even tired, but something has settled in them. I just think it's really cool. And so I watch that. I encourage my clients to yawn. You can even use a yawn as a pressure-free tool, like a fake yawn. So if you open your mouth really wide and start that yawning process, first of all, you're getting more oxygen in for a moment, and but you're also settling yourself. Kind of cool because so many times I'll be working with someone and they're trying to suppress the yawn. And I'm like, no, 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 you get to yawn. It's a very good thing. It's a very beautiful thing. And yes, so many people don't know that. So I wanted to share that today. But I have a little bit more time. So let's see, where could we go that would be useful? Um, I'm going to go to this because I've had entire families take my course. I've had couples take my course. If I work with a couple together, I will always do um, at least two individual sessions as well, because our energies are so different. We're so different. What stresses us out is different. So that's important for us to tease out. But it's really cool when two or more are gathered here. No, two or more people, either in an office, in a home, understand this method and have the language around it. So the client I was working with yesterday, I've worked with her sister as well. And so they were on a trip together. They were able to use language like, oh, that was not a very pressure-free moment, or can be super fun and super helpful. If you see someone push the Ferris wheel, which is one of my starter tools, or shoot a three-point shot, right? Shoot the hoop is one of my Canadian clients calls it, shoot the hoop, right? And if you see the family member do that, you're like, oh, what's going on? Like something's going on. So there's so much less judgment. Um, let's go into that for a moment. So one thing that I find is people really judge each other about what stresses them out. Like maybe you have a child who's really stressed about their quiz in math today, and you're like, oh, that's no reason to be stressed, right? Well, they feel it. And so I just see like why are you stressed about that? That's nothing. But to the person, it is something. And so I really tried to provide a totally judgment-free zone, an unconditional support and love zone, because we get these little mini judgments or mini critiques that there must be something wrong with you if that stresses you out. But no, it's like there's so many factors that decide what triggers us. I know I've mentioned this before. If you watched my show before, you've probably heard me say it, but when I was 4, I almost drowned and got burned on the same day. So I like my water sports on top of the water. In fact, I loved water skiing when I was growing up. And so I got to the point where I could sit on the end of the diving board, hold on to the rope, yell, hit it, leap into the water, get let off at the start of our cove, and slalom my way into the diving board, walk around, and my hair wouldn't be wet, my upper body wouldn't be wet at all. I have a little spray, but I didn't actually get wet when I water skied. I like my sports on top of the water. I love the water and I'll swim, but it's like not a huge deal for me. And I'm sure it traces back to almost drowning in a whirlpool on a very cold river when I was 4. And on that day, it was so, um, we were there just for the day, visiting people who were camping. We had no clothes, we had no extra things. So I had to take all my clothes off, wrap in the blanket from the car, the car blanket, wrap in the blanket and sit. They put me by the fire, the campfire, and the blanket caught on fire because I was so close. I can't imagine what my parents went through that day. I just can't even imagine. And so burning smells, that is a real trigger for me. If something's on the stove and it gets like a burning smell, even a campfire is a little bit, I have to just keep my abs relaxed. I didn't even realize how much a campfire would do it until just recently. Someone had a fire pit going and the wind was just right and I could smell it. And I was like, oh, that is really kind of a thing for me. And I love to camp. I've camped my whole life. Um, so these are just kind of interesting little things to know. And that's like, we could dive deep, deep, deep into all the whys of why we have these triggers. That to me is far less important than noticing the trigger and interrupting it so that you protect yourself from stress hormone release. Like that is what pressure free is all about. Um, so yeah, that's what I have for you today. A few things, obviously, the yawn, which is just a beautiful thing. Um, when two or more in a house. So I love it when, like, I've had a mother and a son go through it. I've had entire families, now two sisters, couples, couple's daughter, it's just really, really cool to reinforce and help each other. When I work with a work team, I remember I worked with all the staff of a credit union that's in a few different cities. And I walked into one of the branches. I was having a meeting with the CEO. It was like their main branch. And when I walked in, all the tellers looked like this. I had been a teller for a year. I sure wish I had pressure free when I was a teller at Comerica Bank, Ann Arbor, which was the campus branch. We had 10 tellers and a line out the door every day. Like that was intense work. We never stopped. And that was amazing experience. And I so wish I had pressure free back then. Um, so yeah, so I wish you a beautiful, of course, pressure-free day. And if I can be assistance, just book a call with me. You can learn more about my courses, my online course, this whole workbook I'm redoing for that. Should be really great. I'll do new videos for it too at some point. Um, Changing things up a little bit in 2026 because there's just so much more that I've learned about the vagus nerve, about new neuroscience research, new things to put into pressure free to help clients really break the stress cycle. That's what our work is here. And with that, I'll let you go. Have a good one. Bye.